all we do is teach you real estate, we failed. And I put that on my Facebook page this morning. And I believe that because here at Signature we care more about just production. We want you to be successful. That's the engine that drives a lot of things for you. Signature. Welcome to the Weekender, episode 37. I'm your host, Brandon Roberts. Another great week here at Signature as we kicked it off Tuesday with our sales meeting. In our sales meeting, we had the legal update with David Sanders, where him and Vaughn had discussed many things. Three of the top things that were discussed were the new agency confirmation form, when to use that and what that is for. We also talked about the new listing agreement. Second week in a row we've talked about that because there's some major changes to it, and I think you need to understand it and really understand how to present that to your clients. He also talked about mediation during this time. It's not easy, and you're not going to be able to get those mediation dates scheduled readily, so be patient and be aware of that. Chris gave his sales tip of the week, which was on negotiations. And Shelly Panzarella with Prosperity Lending gave a mortgage moment on what's going on with forbearances during this time. As you know, many people have negotiated forbearances on their mortgages, and initially it was that everything was going to have to be paid back directly at the end of it, but Shelly goes on and explains what's going on with that now. Our virtual office went on without a hitch all week long, 10:30 to 11:30 on the Zoom call. We had many agents come on with lots of questions and concerns. We had some great conversation. And on Thursday, we had the opportunity to actually have Corey Hintz come on, and she actually talked about tips and tricks with Instagram. That was a great thing. That was also recorded and put up on the Agent's Signature Facebook page. It's on our YouTube page, and it was emailed out in the newsletter. If you missed the sales meeting, that is also on all three of those places. You can find it on the Agent's Signature page under the Units tab. We are super blessed to have Chris Bishop part of our leadership team. If you don't know, he's the president of NVR, Nevada Realtors, and he has the opportunity to work directly with some of our politicians, including the governor and the attorney general. Through Nevada Realtors. And so he's kind of in the know on a lot of things and in the conversation at least. And so the governor spoke on Thursday and he talked about moving the state into phase one. Well, phase one, how does that affect real estate? Well, I have Chris Bishop here to talk and explain what that means to us. Chris, take it away.
Hey guys, Chris Bishop here. Wanted to give you a quick update on the real estate market and the announcement yesterday by the governor and how it affects real estate. Good news is we look like we're hopefully, knock on wood, coming out of this pandemic and the shutdown, and some part of our life will return to some normalcy. I know that I'll be excited to go to a restaurant again and sit and be served by somebody. But as far as the governor's announcement yesterday and how it affects real estate, it really doesn't. Our business was an essential business to begin with. We still were requested to follow the COVID-19 risk mitigation restrictions. There's still the executive order in place with tenants and not disturbing them. I do believe that from what I've heard from our lobbying team at Nevada Realtors and from the governor's staff, that some of those things will be loosened in phase two and hopefully all of them in phase three. But let's talk about a few of those items. So number one, open houses. Right now, under the governor's order, it's strongly discouraged that you do any open houses because you're putting groups of people in contact with each other. And I think that the big concern is that, what will the process look like when we're allowed to do open houses? Well, number one, signing into your open house was a big thing for any real estate agent. That's how you get contact information. That's how you follow up. But now it's going to be a health and safety item. I mean, sign in so that I know who has come through this house. So if anything happened later down the road, I know who was there. And so I think that will be required. I think that we're recommending to the governor that a one at a time type mentality be taken, that if you have 3 or 4 people that want to view the home, that they would wait outside and one person at a time would come through the property. And that's, great news for us. I mean, it makes our process way easier. I think the idea is that we'd also have to wipe down the property before the open house and after. And so that's kind of the way that I think that that will trend. And again, we as a company are recommending that you don't do any open houses. And per the order right now, some municipalities can fine you for even doing them. So you always have to look at where the property is located and what the effects of that will be. Tenant properties. Still, at this point, tenant occupied properties are not allowed to be shown. Properties that are under contract kind of fit into a gray area. The property was already sold, it's in contract, doing the inspection and the appraisal are kind of seen as different things than a showing under the governor's order, so you could schedule those. I think the biggest thing is to get the tenant to be agreeable and show that you're going out of your way to protect them and their home. As far as what we can plan on, of course, the opening of our offices is the primary focus for Brandon and I and the entire leadership team. We are going to be sending out a series of videos with best practices. The important thing is, still, if you don't need to be in the office, don't be in the office. If you can work from home, still, it's a good idea. But when you do come in, making sure that you're sanitizing your hands, that every time you touch something, again, we're going to have sanitization stations in the office so that you can do that. We're also going to ask that you wipe down the conference rooms when they're used. We're going to have a log for anyone coming into the offices, knowing that the conference room had been used and that it had been cleaned, and so now it's ready to be used again. We're going to ask that everything be done by appointment. So if you need to meet with any of the brokers, you need to use the conference room, you need to have a meeting with one of the office managers, we prefer that it be scheduled instead of just dropping by. That's done for the protection of the staff and for your protection as well. But again, business is returning. Unfortunately, I think from this, what we're going to see is a lot of companies that were unprepared or didn't have great financials and could sustain this will go out of business. And I think that we need to be ready with a message to buyers and sellers about the marketplace and what it means for them. And so the important thing is, even with everything that's going on, we're still selling a lot of properties. We still have a lot of production happening. And I think that because of the market shortage of inventory that we're having, and because of the fact that once people can go outside of their homes, I think we're going to see a big flux of business that's going to happen. And I think that we need to be prepared for what that looks like and be prepared to deal with people in this new situation. So again, it's basically common sense and just continuous information, and look forward to providing more of that to you as it happens. Have a great week and let me know if I can help at all. Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. Great information, and thanks for sharing. If you have any questions regarding any of this stuff, feel free to contact any of the brokers here at Signature, and we'd be happy to try to answer them. We're still looking forward to opening up the Green Valley office on the 18th, and followed by the Southwest in Summerlin. Again, like Chris mentioned in the video, watch for next week for updates on the policies and procedures, and we look forward to seeing you in the office. Don't feel like you have to come in if you still feel uncomfortable coming in. We totally understand. We're going to continue to communicate with you via the internet and online sources. We don't anticipate having any live classes or live sales meetings until at least mid-July. So with that being said, I miss you guys, love you guys, and hope you're staying safe out there. And if you need anything, please reach out. Take care.